In the past, you guys, I would win so much and you start getting arrogant and you don't think you can lose, or you don't want to go into Discord and put in the Discord channel that you lost, right? That's just silly, immature thinking on my part. And I encourage you guys not to be that way when you get to the point where you have an edge with. I want to talk about the zero DT trade based on having an edge. And so recently I've been discussing that I believe that my adjusting ability, or if you learn how to adjust at a high level, what we teach in our adjusting course, that will always be an edge for you for the zero DT trade and any type of trade that we do here at Dorian Trader. So I also consider that when the market is up big initially, that can be a potential edge. Or if the market is down big, that can be a potential edge. But nothing is 100%, right? If you had a probability of 85% of winning or even 95% of winning, that doesn't equal 100%. So sometimes it's just not going to play out. But if you feel like the cards are in your favor, right, that you have the odds on your side, then that's when it's time to bet a little bigger, right? Maybe your normal size bet is, let's say, two contracts. If all the kind of stars are aligning and you feel like you got a really good edge, then maybe you double those contracts. You, instead of doing two, you do four. Does that mean you're going to win? No, it doesn't mean you're going to win. That's what happened to us yesterday with the zero DT trade. Felt like the stars were aligning, did a little bigger bet, got a little bit closer on the put side on a 10 delta. Normally, we're probably no higher than an 8, most likely no higher than a 7. But we went to a 10 delta, which is our highest delta that we would normally go to for the zero DT trade that Dr. Meadows teaches in the statistical day trading course. And so if I would have stayed at a lower delta than 10, then maybe I would have been able to deal with that market reversal better yesterday. But sometimes, you guys, your edge doesn't work because it's not 100%. And then sometimes your assumption hinders you, right? And so most of the time, when the market is up a certain amount or down a certain amount, and I'm saying a big a certain amount, up or down, and it reverses 50%, like it's 50% off the lows if it was down, or 50% off the highs if it was up, a lot, I'm saying. That's usually a sign it's going to go the other direction. If it was down, it's going to go green. If it was up, it's going to go red. But is that signal? I know I'm not a technical analysis guy, but I'm a kind of a tape reader. And when I see that signal, that normally tells me that the market is going to go the other way because it gave up 50% of a huge move, down or up. And it did that yesterday. But because in my head, I kept thinking, I don't want to be whipsawed when we come back. Is this a fake move? Is this a transitory type of move? And so I wasn't aggressive enough on adjusting that call side down or towards at the money and moving that put side away from at the money. And so I adjusted, and then we got into the witching hour. And you guys know that I say in the witching hour, my edge of adjusting is dissipates. It goes away. It's no longer an edge. Every time I lose on zero DT trading, it's during the witching hour. And I have a 95% win rate when I'm doing it. Still to today, even though we lost yesterday, 95% win rate. But every single time I lose is during the witching hour. And it's because I had to adjust so much that the walls come in, as I like to say. You don't have that much room to adjust anymore. And in the past, I would have a big loss because I would try to adjust it all the way down to, the last few seconds if possible. And that's just silly because the market could move in any direction, any like small amount, and it could hurt you. So yesterday I decided, okay, I'm just going to take a scheduled type of loss just to avoid having the market to jump up on me with the last, 15, 10 minutes, last 5 minutes, whatever the case may be. And so if I didn't have that discipline yesterday, a $500 loss, a little less than $500 loss or whatever it was, $500 would have been a $2,000 loss because my call side would have won the money. Because if you guys remember yesterday, it jumped up at the very last 3 minutes. It jumped up and went above the 240 or ended at 63.40. It's one of those things. It's being okay to losing. In the past, you guys, I would win so much and you start getting arrogant and you don't think you can lose, or you don't want to go into Discord and put in the Discord channel that you lost, right? That's just silly, immature thinking on my part, and I encourage you guys not to be that way. When you get to the point where you have an edge with whatever trade you're doing, but especially with that zero DT trade, because it has the most gamma risk, it has the most risk, and obviously you can make the most with that, but you have to respect the risk. Think about what you can lose before what you can make. And in the past, I would break that rule, break that mindset, and think about what I can win, and having that pride of, oh, the win streak is continuing. No, that's silly. Because at the end of the day, you want your account to be up at the end of the week if you can. You want it to be up at the end of the month if you can, and you definitely want it to be up at the end of the year. Before we continue with the video, I just want to quickly point out that if you're interested in learning more about the zero DT strategy or any other of the strategies that we teach here at Dorian Trader, you can check out our Dorian Way School. We're going to put the link in the description area. It will help you accelerate your learning process. Thanks for listening. Now back to the video. So with trading, you have to be willing to take some losses, and the best loss, the smaller the loss, the better winner you're going to be. It's a book out there that we read with in our book club called The Best Loser Wins, I believe it's called. It's a really good book. It's not necessarily the type of trading that we do. It's a lot of Forex and things like that. But the concept of becoming the best loser rings in my head because I understand the mindset. You want to become an excellent loser. And what that means is that you're the person that will take your loss consistently and never having a big loss, so that in return makes you the best type of loser, because you're not one of these people always wishing and hoping and things like that, right? You're following your plan and you're getting out when you should be getting out. At Dorian Trader, you guys, when you learn that statistical day trading course that Dr. Meadows has created, and you learn it, and you learn it to the point where you can darn near teach it, if not teach it, it's going to give you some edges. Just the way we put it on, it's going to give you an edge. The way we adjust it is going to give you an edge. The way we take it off is going to give you an edge. But it does not mean you cannot lose. But you will lose if you don't follow the process. Once you know the process, then you can start molding it into your personality, like a number of you have. Dr. Christina is not on the call right now, but she was a perfect example of learning the process, having the discipline, and following the rules, and then molding the kind of zero DT, statistical zero DT trade into her character a little bit, into what fits her temperament. And then she's just started killing it. And so I talked to her on Wednesday, and she's having zero DT withdrawals. Right? It's funny, but it's true. I'm missing it, and I'm thinking about it during the day, but she has to do this other stuff right now. That happens when you start getting good at something and you're making money and you know it's not luck. You start to, have this urge to get back in the game, right? Weekends are long because you don't get to do the thing you absolutely love to be doing. Let's look to put on a trade, and let's talk about the setup of the zero DT trade. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to click on this zero DT. And so what I like to do is look at the platform's expected move right now, which is the one standard deviation move. It's plus or minus 20 right now on TastyTrade. I also like to look at the straddle price, and that makes it a little bit more uniformed. And so that's saying let's just round it up to 23. So if we double that, that's going to be like a 46-point move if you're saying 2 standard deviations, or 95% of the time it should stay below that or expire below that 46 number that I'm saying. Okay. And so we're trying to give ourselves an edge by the way we put it on. 68% of the time, it's going to expire within that expected move, that one standard deviation move, plus or minus 20. If you make it double that, then that's obviously giving you higher odds. Doesn't mean you're going to win, but it's giving you great odds to start. So I'm going to go, let's just say 50 points up, and that would take us to about the 64, 10. And so let's go there. And actually the 64.20 it would take us to. I'm probably not going to stay at that 5, but we'll see. That's giving us 30 points. On the put side, we'll go down 50, let's say 50 points. That would take us to that's an 8 delta, so a little better than yesterday. Are we going to have a reversal again that we had yesterday? I don't think so. But it's possible. If we do this here, and that's, what is that, 60? If we add 50 to that, that'll be 70. So this is like 56, 55 points away with the expected move being less than that. If we keep that put side and just bet that, okay, we're not going to go back again today, if we do that, that gives us a decent amount of room there. And we're going to try to do what we did yesterday. And if we're wrong, then we'll live with that. And I feel like the edge is there. So I'm going to go with 3 contracts, and we're going to jump over here to the 0 DT, and we're going to send this, and we're going to see how it plays out for us. So on the put side this time, instead of a 10 delta yesterday, we had a 9 delta, but we're just betting that we're not going to get another reversal today that to that extent that we did yesterday. Is it possible? Yeah, but I'm betting that's not going to be the case. So we haven't got filled. I'm going to give it one more shot here. Drop it down to 105. We probably get filled right away. We're not going to get $300 on this though, and that's a bummer. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000. Not going to give it to me. And so we're going to go with the 3 contracts. We set up the trade basically 2 standard deviations or more on both sides. And we gave the market a little time to declare itself to the upside. And so I think that's an edge when the market has already moved big in one direction. Can it reverse all the way and go completely the other direction like it did yesterday? Absolutely. But that's still like small probability that's going to happen. So you got to play the probabilities. And so that's what we're doing again today. And we're going to see if we can bounce back up, get back on the horse here and get back on the winning streak. Even though our win rate has been 95%, it's not 100. But every time I put this trade on now, I feel like I'm going to win. And I thought that was going to be the case all the way up until the witching hour. When I get in the witching hour, I start to get that feeling in my head that, oh, this possibly can be a loss, because that's the time when I lose on this trade. It's always been doing the witching hour. I, I can adjust to the point that I have a good chance of winning all the way up until then.